Friday. Thank you for joining me here tonight. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for the beginning crafter. And I am here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. That's 9:30 Eastern and 6:30 Pacific. And it's a time that we can relax and craft together and work on a project. And we go for about an hour, and I work on projects from beginning to end, so you can be part of the whole process along the way and just come and chit chat and hang out. So thank you guys for joining me here again tonight. We finished our swan embroidery pattern last night, so tonight it's kind of like a free day. So we got I brought the Jean Quilt out again so we could work on that. So since we worked on it last week, I think that was last week Friday, we worked on this again. After months and months and months of me not working on this quilt, and this is a 15-year long or so quilt for me. I worked on it since last week. I did do two of the borders. I tied two of the borders. So now I just have two borders left, and then I can actually do a binding and be done with this thing, this quilt that has been going for ages and ages. So I'm hoping tonight we can get at least one more of these borders, and then I just have like one more to go, and then can do the binding, which I still have to make as well too. But still, we're getting there, people. All right, I'm gonna flip you around, and we'll get going tonight. All right, here's the Jean Quilt. I'll start up just high so you can see a little bit of it. I did post it over on Instagram a little while back. I think that might have just been a story though. So it's 16 log cabin blocks. Here's one of the log cabins, and I am hand tying it. So we've been doing kind of like these crisscross of ties, and then like little blobs in the middle, like little diamonds in the middle of those crisscrosses. And I decided to extend that for the border. So it's nothing special for the border. It's just a continuation. So here you can see I continued that crisscross, and then put the little guy in the middle. So this is one of my finished borders. We're gonna scooch up and do this border next, right here. So I'm gonna get you guys a little bit lower, and I think probably right there is probably good for the evening, and we will get going on this. So I'm hand tying it. We'll see if this many hand ties will hold up this quilt. I mean, it is a really heavy quilt. I mean, after the first couple washes, we'll just see how it goes. So here's my little container that houses this project. It also had, I took it out, but it also has like a little scissors in here. So it has everything I need to get going. And I left off, and I had yarn still on my needle, so that's ready to go as well for a few more stitches. I also have another scissors and an awl in here too if I need to poke some holes. But I haven't needed to do that lately. So I'm going to set these guys to the side. We got my yarn here. This is 100% wool yarn so that it felts. It will bunch up all these. Once I wash this will all bunch up into like little balls, and that will help hold the quilt together. And I think it'll just look like little dots on here. That's the plan. So we will keep going here, I guess. All right. Oh, yeah, this would be awesome as, Gretchen says that this would be neat for a wall hanging in the new studio. It would be awesome. I'm just, I'm wondering, I keep making these quilts lately, and what am I going to do with all these quilts? I just like making them. It's not like I have to put, 8 beds together or something, Oh, you gifted the poppy scissors to your sister-in-law. Oh, that's awesome. I'm so glad she liked it, Gretchen. All right, I'm coming down and up. I'm doing the same spaces, so I have sort of a guide here of where I need to go. So let's start with that first knot. I'm just kind of making like a square knot. I'm actually not even bothering with a square knot. I'm just making 2 little knots and calling it a day. Okay, and then the next area is 3 up. So 1, 2, 3. These are all 1 inch approximately strips of jeans that I've cut up over years. And I just kept adding it to the squares to make the log cabin quilt blocks. I just kept adding it and adding and adding once I had more jeans to cut up and add. And eventually it got to where it's like a real quilt. It's mostly my husband's jeans. A few of mine, but the women's jeans are a little stretchy, so those weren't working as well. But yay, I'm happy that this is almost done. It's going to be so heavy. I want to use it on our bed yet for winter. And I've been saying that for years. So I'm happy that I'm finally going to actually be able to do that. I'm making that little diamond shape in the middle. So I haven't cut any of these bits yet. So there's like little bits like this. This is paint from the jeans. So at one point, that particular part of the jeans, that pair of jeans got paint on it. So there's little bits of that throughout the quilt, little paint bits that never came out. All right, 3 down. This one is near a seam, so this one might be a little tough to get, but we'll do it. I think this needs to angle back like a diamond still yet. I haven't done that. I'm kind of doing the middle area before doing the diamond area. That's fine. I had enough floss for that. And I gotta be sure to grab these pins that I have in here as I go here too. I'm just kind of estimating like three rows is about that big, so that's where I'll put that. I'm hoping to bring this to my parents' house and actually finish it over the holidays, and maybe even take a photo of it there, which would be awesome. So I will keep you guys updated. For batting on this, I used a bamboo batting. It just happened to be what I had, and it is pretty lightweight. And then the backing, I'm just using quilting weight fabric. So, I mean, a lot of people when they do jean quilts, they skip the batting and they put some flannel on the back and then be done with it because it's heavy enough. But I went for the batting, and it is heavy. It's really heavy. I'm curious how it's gonna hold up I don't know if I think I only did one knot. I'm wondering how it's gonna hold up in the wash. If it'll even fit in my washer. So that's gonna be the next challenge. All right, I'm gonna snip between each of these. All right, there are the ties, and then I've been doing the ties about 2 fingers big. So I'm just trimming them all, just so I have some sort of consistency in this. They will bunch up a little bit. You can see some of these that have been worn, or like that are like from the very beginning of me quilting. Those are getting a little fuzzy already. It's just that the fibers rubbing against each other that does that, and that just gets exacerbated in the wash, which is what I'm hoping for. All right, here's our last one. All right, needle isn't on here yet. I'm just gonna make a pile of these behind me. Actually, while we're at it, let's grab a couple of these pins. So don't forget about them. Get this guy too. All right, we're not done with this segment yet, though. I have to do the rest of this diamond. So let's just start by filling up my needle again here. So this is a pretty hefty needle. I think it's an upholstery needle. Like, this is not going to bend. It's not a doll making needle, even though it has the length that a doll making needle has, but it is heftier. It's much heftier. I would, if you're going to do a Jean quilt like this, I would definitely look like in the upholstery section where you got to get those really tough needles that can go through hefty fabric and seams and all that. This is probably way too much yarn for one, but we're gonna give it a go. So I already have kind of a line coming here and a line coming from over here. So I'm going to use those as my guides, and they're also going to line up vertically with these ones. So I'm just going to kind of fill in the gaps here. I'm going to start over here. So I'm just going along this line and then also lining up here, and it's 3 down again. So 1, 2, 3, and then lining up with the next bit. So that's our first one. Yep, I'm going to wash it when I'm done. I'm hoping, Patricia, that it's going to fit in my washer. I'm really hoping that. So I have a washer, like one of those old washers with the agitator in the middle. I don't know how well it would do on a front loading washer. So we'll see if it fits. I mean, I've washed big quilts in there before, so we'll see. At worst, I will have to bring it to the laundromat, but I'm really hoping I don't have to do that. So we'll see how it flies here. But yeah, once I get it done, I will wash it. I think it'll probably do fine in the wash. I mean, in theory, it's a bunch of jeans, right? I've done a load of a bunch of jeans in the washer before, so we'll give it a try. If all else fails, I'll bring it somewhere. I don't think it's going to wreck my washer or anything. I'm not worried about that. All right, here's the next one. This is near a seam too, so if it gets really tough to poke in, then I will get the awl out. But I really only needed the awl when I was doing these horizontals, because these diagonals, because they were all where seams met, and that had a lot of fabric to go through. What I'm hoping is that this is enough quilting to hold all this together. That's going to be the other challenge. Oh, what size is this about? It is, I mean, I don't think I've measured it since I've had it on the ground, but if I remember right, I think a block is 20 inches. And really, we could measure it. I got a ruler right here. And I have 4 blocks by 4 blocks, so it's just 4 blocks wide. Okay, I think we go to right there. So middle to middle. Okay, they're about 18 and a half inches. So that times 4. So we can pretend it's about 20. So that's about 80. And then, give it another 10 on each side, let's say. So let's call it 100 by 100 inches. That's my rough guess. So that's bigger than a queen. I think a queen is what, like 80 by 80? I don't know what's standard sizes. I wanted it a hair bigger than a normal queen because I wanted it to hang over a little bit more. And actually, for the border, one of my borders, I think it's actually the one I haven't done yet. One of the borders I only did half the size because that's going to be the top of the quilt. You know, I'm not going to do it where it goes over pillows or anything. I wanted it shorter where it's like by our chins, and then where it falls over the sides of the bed, I wanted it a little bit longer, so it is shorter on one side. All right, our last one is here. 1, 2, 3. I'll get a little higher here so you guys can see. Oh, there, now we can peek underneath. So I did tracking on my thimble today, and I think it just arrived in the US and it's in Chicago. So I'm not sure I'll have it. I don't think I'll have it before I head out of town, which is a bummer. I wanted to play with that. But we'll just do it when we come back. I'm putting together right now, you guys, the schedule. I know I kind of did it already, but I'm tweaking it because the Orifil block of the month, that doesn't get released till the 15th, and I was hoping to do it the first of the month, so I'm switching over my schedule a little bit. But I am writing an email right now that has it'll have the schedule and when we'll start stuff and what week we'll kind of be working on the different projects. The 4 core projects that we'll start out with for like 1 week of each month, we will be changing and doing a different project. So each, like week 1 is a project of each month, week 2 is a project of each month, is a project, and so on. So I'm putting that plan together a little bit better. Oops, I pulled this through my yarn down here a little bit. Let's try that again. So that'll go out Monday. So on Monday, you'll have the real schedule with links to the patterns and stuff if you want to make the things with us. So that'll get figured out now. All right, I just need to finish this diagonal, and then I have like 1 stitch that I need to make right here. This is like as if I was going to do another diamond here, but it's going off the side. But we'll finish this first. So right here. So this area that I'm doing right now, we have 4 of chunks like this for the border, for 1 border. So multiply the time it's taking me to do this by 4, and that's how long it'll take to do this first border. I'm cruising though. This was just a fun thing to work on while I think I was just watching a movie over the weekend or some. No, it couldn't have been the weekend. It was. Yeah, it was. It was like Saturday and Sunday evening. I think is when I did the 2 other bits of the border. Oh, yay, Leah! Oh, good. I saw it in there. I'm glad that she got it. Yay! Oh, and she's coming out there. Oh, well, have fun with family, Aaliyah. That's awesome. Ugh, there we go. All right, so I'm gonna snip these and then trim them, and then I'm gonna go back and do that 1. We just had that 1 more little tie to do over here, and I can get rid of the pins, and then I can shush it all down. I'm so happy that I'm getting this done though. Like this has been one of those back burner projects that's just been hanging out for over a decade for sure, which is crazy. Ugh, I hope all of you are staying safe with all those fires. All right, here's the last one here. Okay, get rid of my little pile of fuzzles, and then I'm gonna scooch over here. I have one more to do, and it's right in the center, and it's the second row up. This is gonna be a pretty bloopy, wonky quilt once I'm done. Like, nothing's perfectly square, and some places it's looser than other places because I didn't really measure my strips to sew the log cabin quilt. I just kept sewing around and around and around, and that's not the best way to get a nice flat square log cabin block, but that's how I did it. So it's not perfect. Hopefully it'll just kind of meld into itself over time. I'm not too worried. All right, here's the last one over here, and this corner is done. I just need to get rid of those pins. Oh, there's 4 pins. There's another one hiding here. Soon I'll get a trim this border off. I'll trim, it's going over the edge a little bit here. I'll trim that off. And then I'll measure it and see how much binding I need to do, and maybe make a binding. I think I'm going to do a black binding. So just black, kind of just like the thread here. I think it'll just be a neat just frame for the whole thing without calling attention to itself, and still kind of going with it because of this black. So that's my plan for the binding. So I got to remember to bring some black fabric to my parents' house, although I'm sure Mom has some. But I don't want to use hers. I want to use mine up. Ugh. Oh, it's heavy. Oops, I lost the needle. Okay, next section. So we're basically doing the exact same thing as we just did. I think I'll start with this little extra one that I have to do here, and then we'll do the diagonals first, and then I'll do the diamond in the middle. So we'll go in basically the opposite order as last time. I think it's right here. Let's double check. Yeah. And line here. This is where we go 2 up. I'll probably take a photo of it before I wash it, like right after I get the binding done, and then I will wash it, and then maybe take another photo and see how different it looks. I'm curious how the ties will change. That might just be an over time sort of thing, though. We'll see. Grab this pin. Okay, let's get this diagonal going. Nope, I'm not going to self-bind Barbara. I'm going to do a whole separate binding. It's going to be a black color binding. I suppose I could. So self-binding is I would cut the batting. So pretend the batting's not there. I'm just going to tuck it under there. And then I would I would trim this, but I'd fold the exterior around and then I'd fold it around again. And then I would just sew that. I mean, that would look pretty cute too, but I like the idea. I don't know. In my head, I have that idea of the black binding. And I like that double binding. I don't know. It is easy to just do that fold over, but I like my bindings. That double binding, I think it's called like a French binding because it's kind of like a French seam a little bit. But that's like my favorite part is sewing that on and then hand stitching around the whole thing. So I'll sew it to the front and then flip it to the back and do the hand stitching of it all. I like doing that. To me, that's like the last nice thing, fun thing about a quilt. So I'm going to do it that way. Oop, 1, 2, 3, right here. I think after I wash it too, I think the pattern that I'm doing for this quilting will be more visible. Actually, I think if you look at the quilt from far away, you can see it. Up front, I can't see the pattern as much, but I think you can see it from far away a little bit more. We'll see. Oh, that's exciting, Aaliyah. This is going to be just like a soft quilt, though. Like, all these jeans have been worn a bajillion times and have been washed a bajillion times. Like, I am not worried about color running at all. I mean, if anything, the fabric on the back is where color would run. But, I mean, these jeans are done doing whatever color stuff they're going to do. I think I'm going to scooch you guys down a hair. Or maybe I'm going to angle it a little bit so you guys can see a little bit better. We'll go a little sideways today. Although I can't see what I'm doing anymore. Sorry, the camera's in the way. We're going to go up a little bit like that. Actually, that's still in the way, sorry. We're gonna go maybe a little higher. Then I'm gonna scooch. There we go. Maybe a little over. So I think we might have enough for the next. There's 2 more that go here before we have to do that center one. Center diamond. The backing is a dark blue. This is some of my penguin fish fabric from the Serengeti Beasties collection. It's a dark blue with kind of black just squares. So it totally mimics the log cabin, and it uses like the colors of the black from the yarn and the jean. So I think it goes all right. Happy to be using it on this. I think I only have room for 1 more here. that's all I can get out of this one. We're gonna have to start a new thread. I think this is relaxing though. I know not everyone likes tied quilts like this, or not even everyone considers it a quilt when it's tied, but I think it adds so much texture. Oh, you tied a quilt once and you love it? Yeah, I think it just adds just a lot of texture. I mean, you're adding a whole other layer of feeling to it, I think. Especially for kids, they can grab onto it, and I don't know. I am not sick of it yet. Oops, I forgot this one. Probably done more quilts like this than anything else. Not that I've done a bajillion quilts, but I've done a few. All right, getting some more thread. If I run, I mean, I don't think I'll run out of this. It's a pretty, I'm pretty close to being done with this thread, or this yarn, but I don't have that much to go, and I do actually have several more of these, just in case I need them. I think we'll probably be just fine, though. All right, I think I'm going to just skip to that center, and then I'll come back to here, and then just start the next bits right away. Yeah, maybe not. I think I'm going to just finish what I'm doing. Otherwise, I'll forget it, that it's there. Get rid of this guy. One, two, three, right here. There we are. So I'm just going on one side of the seam and coming up on the other side. Kind of far apart, but I don't want this to like tear through the fabric over time either. I want them far enough apart where I don't have to worry about that. All right, I'm going to trim that, and let's do that middle diamond. And we can scooch to the next one. Maybe we'll get three done tonight here. Which is good, then I only have one whole row and then one more segment, so that's just kind of like 5 segments left, which would be amazing. Getting her done. Well, yeah, so I will not be seeing you guys again until the Monday. What is it? It's still December. So after this week, I won't see you next week at all. So if you celebrate Christmas, then Merry Christmas during that time. Alright, let's tie. Oh, what am I? Oh, yeah, I'm tying this off already. I'm like, why am I tying this in 2 knots? I forgot that this is the first one. A little fuzzle there that I'm going to trim. So I'm going to have an email go out for the new schedule, but it's going to be kind of what I already posted. I'll have links to the actual projects, though. So our first project will start the first full week, of January. So until that time, we'll work on some of these other projects that we have going on here. So on that first that first first full week, we'll be starting the um, Granny Squares quilt, and I'll have a link to that. I'll need to pick out fabric and go over the pattern and all that. So I'll probably do that with you guys. We'll see. Maybe I'll pick the fabric first, and we'll just get going. But that'll start. I believe it's the 6th. It's that first full week of January. And then the second full week, we'll work on the Splendid Sampler because we need to get that done yet too. I can't just let that fall away. I know there's a lot of blocks that I'd like to try, and if I know you guys like sometimes when I can work through blocks with you. So we'll do that for sure. I don't want that to disappear. That would be a horrible project to let go away and then never pick up again. So I want to keep some momentum on that. So that'll be our week 2, and this is for every month. So every first week will be the Granny Square quilt till we get it done. Every second week will be the Splendid Sampler till we get it done. Then every third full week will be the embroidery of the month. So I'm still going to be doing an embroidery of the month, a new pattern every month. So the first one was the swan. The next one will come out January 1st. And so by having that the third week, then there's enough time. If you guys want the bundles, there'll be enough time to get the bundle. Or if you want to gather your own supplies, there'll be enough time before we start stitching to do that. So that's why I'm waiting till the third week for the embroidery of the month. So I'm excited because we'll be doing embroidery every month now. And then the last week of the month, every month, will be the Aurifil thread block of the month. So that has a new design. It's similar to the Splendid Sampler. It has a new designer every month, but it's just 12. So it's just going to be 12 different blocks, and I believe they're like 12-inch blocks. And I am the July designer, so I will design a block for July. So I'm excited. I'm going to be part of that project. So we'll do that project too, because why not? That'll be fun. So that is our general plan. On top of that, whenever we have a free day, here and there, or we get done with a block earlier than we think, or, for whatever reason, if there's a day here or there, we will work on other stuff as well. Like a project might just pop up. Like, for example, I wanted to turn my swan embroidery into a zippered pouch. Like that would be a good project to do, when we're not working on our main projects. But as far as a main project planning goes, that's how it's going to work. Divided into weeks with the Granny Square quilt, Splendid Sampler 2, embroidery of the month, stitching, and then the Aurifil block of the month. And then when one of those projects finishes, we will fill it in with another project. Four Granny Squares. Am I still planning to do 4 Granny Squares online? 4 Granny Squares. I'm not quite sure what you're asking. Yes, happy holidays to everyone in this group for sure. Yeah, It's not always fun and family for everyone. That's for sure, Noeline. Well, I'll be thinking of you, Noeline. And we'll be back pretty quick here. All right, I am shimmying down. So let's try and do one here. Oh, thanks, Arlo. Yes, so I am lucky. I got to be one of the new designers for the Aurifil block of the month. They do a block of the month every year. The theme for this year is, I believe it's called the Colors of Italy. So that'll be really fun. It'll be really pretty, I think, and that'll be neat. I'm excited to choose colors. So I haven't thought through it completely, but I am assuming that I will try and raid my stash again. But I suspect it'll just like be beautiful, rich, bright, like sunsetty colors, and I think that will be just a beautiful, beautiful quilt. And I'm excited to see what all the designers end up making. Oh yeah, Aurifil. Did I say something? Maybe I didn't say Aurifil. Aurifil though, Aurifil. They're a thread manufacturer. They're the ones that make our thread here with like the orange. This is the 50 weight Aurifil. Here we go. There we go. So that's how you spell it. I'll have links. So I'm working on a newsletter that has this calendar laid out, and I'll have a link so you can get to their website. They're gonna release the new block for the month every 15th, so kind of mid-month of each month, which happens to be the time when we will be stitching the embroidery of the month, like my penguin and fish embroidery of the month. So we're not going to start exactly on the 15th. We're going to start on the fourth week of the month. So we'll be starting a hair later every month on that project. But it'll be released, and we can take a look at it for sure. 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm starting the next segment here. So again, there's four blocks in a row. They're large blocks, like I think we just measured. They're like 18 and a half inches. So there's only 4, and we're gonna get 3 done tonight. That is good progress. That means like maybe 2 more hours or so, and we'll be done. Which means I will probably be done with the quilting during the length of a football game on Monday. I think that's probably how this will end up playing out. Because there is football happening at my parents' house for sure. Oh, the Aurifil thread? Yeah, so I think, yeah, it'll be online. I'll be posting a link to their website. They're going to be releasing several mini packs of the thread. And they're all going to be different colors, these mini packs, and that's what each block is going to be inspired by, are these colors. And they're having contests and stuff, so there'll be chances to win, and it's free. the block of the month. So that'll be on the Aurifil website, and it's hosted by Pat Sloan too. She's doing the Splendid Sampler too. So we're gonna be working on 2 projects with her. Yep, it'll be a download for each release for the Aurifil block of the month. And that starts January. So January 15th is when it sounds like the first block will be released. And the first one is by Blair Stocker, who we've done one of her projects here before. So she does that ruby ruler. We did that English paper piecing, that purple flower pillow that we did that one time. That was English paper piecing. That's her design. So she's the first block designer. All right, I think this is the last stitch that this can handle. Then we will get some more thread. But yeah, on their site, and again, I'll link to this in the email that will go out on Monday, but or maybe I'll send it out earlier if I get it done earlier, but that will have a link to the page, and there you can see the links of all the designers, so you can see all the designers that are participating. Okay. I think we'll do the 2 right here, and then we got to hit that diamond in the middle, and then I think we might call it a night at that point. We'll see what time it is. We're cruising along with this. I'm telling ya, a football game, and I might have this all trimmed and, measured and math done for how much fabric I need for a binding. Like, we might be cranking on this thing. Oh, that would be nice. That would be amazing. That would be a Christmas present to myself, getting this done over Christmas. That would be so well. That and the thimble, of course, which I won't have by Christmas, but still. That I called a Christmas present for myself. 1, 2, 3. That seems far away, but that's where it goes. Oh, Barbara! Oh, that's awesome. Yep. It has been ages. Well, actually, we worked on this last Friday, but before then, it had been ages and ages since I worked on it. I think the first time I worked on this on here, I was still sewing the border on. I think I was still actually working on the front of this, and that was years ago. So years and years before that, I was making the block still. So this, like, literally, I'm telling you, it's been probably, I think we're hitting around the 15-year mark on this thing. I'm gonna have to find out for sure. I think I have a photo from when I started. I'm gonna have to see what the date is on that photo. If I even have it somewhere. It's gotta be in my computer somewhere. I was thinking doing these borders would just take forever and ever, but it's actually not too bad. Really, taking this out to work for a finish it Friday and then just leaving it out, I mean, that really did the trick. I mean, leaving it out, I ended up working on it for a couple more hours, and that made me feel like I had momentum on this border. Like it wasn't a lost project that'll never get done. Alright, I gotta do that diamond in the middle here yet. get rid of all 3 of these pins. They're all kind of in my way. So here's another blob of paint that was on the jeans. So that paint is part of the quilt because it was part of the jeans. Okay. Let's do the middle one again. I'm kind of lining up the middle of this orange with the furthest out points of the diamond here. I'm eyeballing this whole thing. If we're close enough, that's plenty good. I like that this scissors matches the project. Makes me extra happy. That'd be a reason to get every color of the scissors. Just match a scissors to each project and leave it with the project. I do actually really like leaving the tools that you need with the project if you can. Like if you have a spare scissors or a couple little scissors, just leave it with the project. Then it's so much easier to start when you have all the tools right there. Although if I ever need like a really hefty needle like this, I'll have to remember that, oh, I was using that to work on this project, and this project is hidden somewhere in the house or whatever, so it's not like all my needles would be together. I'd have to know what project I was using it for, so that's maybe not the best organization system, but if it helps me get the work done, then that's priority over all the needles sitting together nicely, I suppose. A couple more knots, and I'm gonna call it an evening. Oh, sometimes this one is pretty kind of mathematical, or it's following a pattern, I suppose, for the hand tying. But a lot of times with hand tying, and you can see that with the hedgehog wall hanging that's behind me. A lot of times I will just be kind of random. I'll just kind of randomly tie, but still try and be a similar distance apart, but I'll try and make it look more random. This is definitely not that. Actually, this is the first time I think I've tried to not be random with a tied quilt. Usually I just kind of speckle the ties around. All right, 2 more. And we'll be good to go for a little longer. Oh, yep, there is that, Catherine. Do you end up with similar tools around? Okay, 1 more. About right there. Get in there. You know what? An hour is probably long enough to be doing this anyway, because it is a lot of working with the hands, and I can actually kind of feel it in my shoulder a little bit. So this is not a 6-hour project. That's for sure. All right, let's trim this. And then we're done with this segment. All right, here's my leftover. I'll save that for next time and just leave it on the needle like that. Put those puzzles go right here? Alrighty. Put those aside. Okay, so I think that is that for the night. Let's just, I'll zoom way out and we can take a look at what we finished. Let me just move all the stuff. Okay, so I'll get way up here. There's the floor. Okay, so it's so heavy, but all right, we did this segment, and so heavy, and right here. So 3, and then down to the diagonal. So 3 kind of main big chunks. 1, 2, 3. There, you can kind of see the diagonals going a little bit. It is much easier to see from far away, so I'm hoping to get like a really nice photo over the holidays. But after that, actually, the last row is going to go real quick because right here, see how this is my border for the last row. Remember, I said that I did half the size of the border for one side because this is the side that will be like by our heads. And then I wanted to hang over all the other sides a little bit more, so I made the top a little bit shorter. So I won't have as much quilting to do here at all. So this will get trimmed down here. But yeah, so that'll go fast. That'll go like probably 1 more hour, not even 1.5 or 2. So awesome, you guys. I am excited. This is going to be a done project. And again, that would be the perfect Christmas present. So I'm going to flip you guys around. There we go. Hello again. So I'm super duper duper stoked about this. So let me see if I can show you it all a little bit. But yeah, so there's some of the little bits that we did and a little paint block. It'll be neat to see it all when they puff together a little bit. I think that'll be kind of neat. So awesome, you guys. Thank you again. I will be here, not next week. Next week I won't be here at all. And then the week after that, I will be back. So I will see you before 2020, which will be nice, but I won't see you till after Christmas. So Merry Christmas, everyone, and Happy Holidays. Happy Hanukkah. Have a great holiday. And I will see you guys again after next week. Thank you. See you later.